Hello, folks. You are tuned into another episode of Listen in 3D, episode number 64. I'm your boy Justin, aka Too Tall for You Fool.
And I'm Netta, aka Wondrous Net.
And together we are both Team 3D, the host of Listen in 3D, where we discuss, dissect, and debate the music and the albums in the world of hip hop and other genres. Like what you're seeing, like this video. If you want to leave us a comment, please do so. Want to share it around, share it around. And most importantly, if you do all the three things I mentioned above, subscribe. If you do want to help us out when you do subscribe, help us out one step further by clicking on that notification bell. That way you know when all our videos go live. All right. So anyway, so we've previously done two of Ruthless's albums from their earlier days in the late '80s, going into the '90s with Easy Does It and the DLC's No One Can Do It Better. And then this is the third one. This is pretty much like the third album we're going to talk about, but this is another group effort from the posse at Ruthless. I probably should ask you this toward the end of the episode, but I'll just ask you this now since just to do some small talk. Where would you put this album with the other Ruthless releases that we've done? First, second, third? What do you think?
So what is it? Easy Does It, and Ice Cube's other album?
No, no, the DLC. No one can do
Oh. Um
it.
Probably I would probably put this is first and then the DOC and then is Easy in it?
Yeah, yeah,
Then Easy Does It.
yeah. Okay, okay. Well, I was just curious. Usually don't. Usually, I know it's usually more of a ask for the end of the episode kind of question, but let's get into what we're doing. I'm pretty excited about who we're discussing today.
So today we'll be talking N.W.A. Negroes or Niggas with Attitude, Straight Outta Compton. It was released August 8th, 1988. It was their debut studio album. It was certified 3 times platinum and it peaked at number 4 on the Billboard 200. They had singles including Straight Outta Compton, Express Yourself, and Gangsta Gangsta. And there were music videos for Straight Outta Compton and Express Yourself, the remix. There were guest appearances from the DOC and Crazy D.
All right, thank you for that. So NWA, an acronym for niggas with attitudes. So for the most part, they hip hop group out of primarily Compton, California. They were active from 1987 to 1991. After their final album, Niggas for Life, they parted ways for obvious reasons. Just Dr. Dre leaving for Death Row Records, and then a few years earlier, Ice Cube had left the group. Bottom line, mismanagement, poor mismanagement with money, but don't really want to get into all that here. If you want more, there are plenty of documentaries out there. You can even watch the Straight Outta Compton biopic, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little later. So they formed in '87. The original group consisted of it was 6 members overall. And no, one of them was not the DLC, even though many would consider him an honorary member. But it was the Arabian Prince, Dr. Dre, Easy E, Ice Cube, DJ Yella, and MC Ren. So they formed, and they put out a compilation because definitely they were when they were recruited, they were from other crews. Ice Cube was from a crew called Crew in Action or CIA. Dr. Dre, the World Class Wrecking Crew. There were just a lot of crews out there. So definitely. So when they formed N.W.A, Easy would call them like a all star group, and it's just like, okay, well, man, I guess they were all stars. I guess you could say looking back on it now, but uh, so pretty much so they're the 6 members. We've talked about Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, and Easy E. I could highlight some of the other members. DJ Yella we'll start with him. He was a member of the world class Wrecking Crew. Um, he was actually I guess he worked as a DJ before Dr. Dre joined him at that place, Eve After Dark in Compton with Lonzo Williams, and then they formed a world class wrecking crew. So he was a member of that. Producer. After the group had broken up, he helped get Easy E's last album together. So he finished one of the tracks on there, for him because he really wanted it on that last album of his, and then he went away from music for many years. He was I don't know if you heard about this, but this I thought was a pretty interesting story. He used to be a movie director in the pornography business. So yeah,
Hmm.
he was a porn director for a little while. He doesn't do that anymore, but he was doing that for he did that for a very long time after Easy had died in 1995. So he I think he was actually getting before he even passed. He was getting into that. So he did that for many years. What he does now is, for the most part, you know he actually with DJ Yella, he kind of fell on some hard times. He got back together though around the time 2016 when the N.W.A. Straight Outta Compton biopic was coming together. So he did that, got his life together. Ice Cube helped him out. Even Dr. Dre helped him out too because he had hit. He was like homeless, like living on his sister's couch. Didn't even have a car. Didn't have no DJ equipment, and for the fact that Dr. Dre and Ice Cube helped him out, it's just these guys. I can't really say this much about other groups, but these guys, they were brothers. So for the most part, so they helped him. So definitely kudos to them. And what he does now is he tours with Easy E's son, Little Easy E. So and they do shows, perform his old songs. Pretty cool. It's they're a nice little rapper DJ duo, and they keep the crowd going. And I would like to see him perform one of these days. I have not had a chance to see Little Easy E perform. So that's a little bit about DJ Yella. And then MC Ren, the ruthless villain, his nickname. After N.W.A. broke up, he had his solo albums for the most part, but um, let's see, he never got on the same level as Ice Cube or Dr. Dre. For the most part when it came to his solo work, but some of his solo albums I would like to shout out. Shock of the Hour came out in 1993. The Villain in Black 96. He does come back for songs here and there. Whether it be with Ice Cube, I know he's done stuff with Cypress Hill. Um, just he's kind of been like the quiet one. Just not really too much in the limelight. But if I mean when he does rap, people do pay attention, and he's definitely definitely one of the guys that held it together during his time in N.W.A. for the most part. But once again, never got on the level of the big three, Easy E, Dr. Dre, or Ice Cube. So MC Ren, DJ Yellow, just wanted to highlight those guys. And then the Arabian Prince, he left shortly after Straight Outta Compton would come out, and just his style just didn't really fit what NWA was trying to do, but because definitely with the world class wrecking crew, it was a little bit of and it was a little bit of just the whole West Coast um, culture during that time. Not to say that the music was corny or anything, but where as on the East Coast, they had their battle raps, everything like that. It was more like party mode on the West Coast, like um, just like just like dancing, having a good time, that sort of thing. Really a lot of dancing more, if anything. And when it came to the hip hop music scene, at least until Ice T came around. So Yeah, Ice-T was really the one that kicked in the door to gangsta rap, and then N.W.A followed, and they just took it to a whole nother level. We talk about this album going 3 times platinum. They did it with hardly any radio play across the country, so you gotta really give it to them. One of the, music videos we'll talk about, Straight Outta Compton, it was banned off MTV, and, just most of their music banned off a lot of black radio stations. Like, people were just afraid to play them, and even when they were making, radio edits of their songs for the most part, well, at least the ones they could, so so, I mean in terms of that, N.W.A, just I'd heard about them. Got their album like when I want to say my senior year of high school. Got the reissue, and I was just overall impressed. Actually, I think no, not the album. The first CD I got from them was their greatest hits. I'd always see like the billboard around, and because when I started listening to hip hop, I'd already heard of Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, Easy. I'd heard of them individually as artists, but it was like N.W.A. Oh, all star group. Okay, like Dr. Dre and Ice Cube. Listen to that. So that was my first exposure to N.W.A. All right. So what were your thoughts on N.W.A? Do you have any memories of them, whether it be the group or as individual artists? If you want to.
As a group, they're what I think of whenever somebody uses the term gangster rap.
Hmm.
This is the first image that comes to my mind of these guys, saying "f the police" and stuff like that. I'm most familiar of the group, of course, with Ice Cube because of his acting, and Dr. Dre because of his beat making and his beats making,
Yeah,
and
beats.
semi familiar with Easy E because we did his album on episode 7. Easy Does It, and kind of familiar with MC Ren because he was on a lot of that album. Not too familiar with Arabian Prince or DJ Yella. Um, eh, I got a little more familiar with the group when in 2015 there was like this craze about them because the movie came out. Seems like there was like kind of a barrage of biopics about rap groups at that time, or actually just rappers in general.
Yeah.
There was that Notorious movie in
Mm,
2009. Then this came into 2015, and then All Eyes on Me in 2017. So I watched all of those.
what was the best
And I
one you
watched
think?
actually this one, the NWA one, I think was the
Yeah.
best one.
Mm,
Uh, Especially considering you actually have a lot of these guys here to guide
mm.
guide the story, unlike All Eyes on Me and Notorious.
Yeah. Yeah, I think of all the biopics I've seen, I think this is very well done, not just for hip hop, but music in general.
Hmm.
I think the biopic was the thing that got him into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And they definitely got that Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, so they've won a lot of awards. It seems like they didn't become superstars until after they had broken up, believe it or not, and that's kind of sad, really, because I mean they weren't like glorified stars when they first came out. People barely knew who they were, and we'll definitely get into that, uh, for the most part, they definitely showed a lot of history with this, and I think if it wasn't for N.W.A, they censorship. They definitely push the limits with that, what you can and can't say. I think you wouldn't have like a lot of stuff in pop culture today. You wouldn't have shows like South Park or just to name a couple, just to name a few, Family Guy. You wouldn't have stuff like that if it wasn't for this album right here, in my opinion. So one of the first have the parental advisory sticker. And even the Straight Outta Compton movie looks like the parental advisory sticker, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, they definitely push the envelope with what you can say on the radio or in music. They definitely asserted like their First Amendment right.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. All right. So, enough with the the memories of N.W.A. Let's get into the artwork. And when I see artwork like this, I mean, I love it because one, it's all six of them at the time. Arabian Prince, Ice Cube, DJ Yella, MC Ren, Dr. Dre, and Easy E, the one pointing a gun. I think it's cool because they're like looking down on you, and then it's like you're the body on the ground, and then Easy E's just pointing the gun, ready to shoot. So I thought that was pretty, pretty, like kind of just out of this world at the time. Like, oh wow, they really have this on an album cover, and people love this album, love the album cover, and it's they people think it's one of the greatest of all time. I don't think it's that great, but I think it's definitely just. I love the fact that all six of them are there.
Yes, it's definitely a unique and creative angle. It kind of reminds me of like probably the most famous scene on the Friday movie when Chris Tucker is looking on top of the looking on top of the guy who Debo just slammed. He's like, "You got knocked the fuck out." And this album cover kind of reminds me of that because, like you said, it's like the viewer is the victim that's on
Yeah,
the ground. And then I know in that Kill at Will, was it a mixtape? The
EP.
kill Oh, the EP, the
Yeah,
Kill
yeah.
at Will EP, he's handing you the gun. And
Mm.
the death certificate one we just did, he's killed Uncle Sam. And then in this one, like they're coming for you. So it's a very unique album cover, very creative, and even if it's a little threatening to be stood over in this way.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great, great, great. Unique album cover. Great. Yeah, just actually we got to think of all the albums we've done and just try to figure out what is my favorite album cover. But this is a good one though. This definitely one of the better ones. In the previous episode, LL Cool J, Mama Said Knock You Out. That was a good one as well. So figured I'd shout that one out. Been coming across some pretty good album covers lately. Okay, we go to let's get into the beats. Now, definitely it wasn't G Funk hadn't popped up yet, but there were some pretty good beats for the most part. I think for me, um, I liked Gangsta Gangsta. I thought was a really good beat, and Eight Ball I think was a good beat also, and Straight Outta Compton. Even Express Yourself was a pretty good beat. But I'd have to say my favorite was I Ain't the One. How about yourself?
I liked Straight Outta Compton as well.
Mm.
I liked Parental Discretion is Advised, and the I liked Eight Ball. My favorite one was Something to Dance to, just because I liked how they kept on adding little elements throughout the song. He's like, "Yo, Dre, why don't you pump it up some?" And he's
Mm.
like, "I pumped it up, so now it's up." And then he's like, "Yo, Yellow Boy, add a little cut."
Yeah.
And then you hear the scratching noise, and then he say, "What the hell? You think we need some bells?" Yeah, homeboy, might as well. And then they add the bells, and they say, "Let the bass kick," and then they let the bass kick. I thought that was a really cool song where they kind of take you through the process. So I think that was my favorite beat.
Yeah, it was a good beat. Yeah, that was pretty good too. Not my favorite, but beat wise, it was pretty good. All right, so let's get into the album singles. Let's start with "Gangsta Gangsta." Oh, you kicked this one off. What were your thoughts on that one?
I thought these lyrics were so bombastic. I guess like the rest of the album,
Hmm.
it's like taking a life or two. That's what the hell I do. You don't like how I'm living with you. And he's like, "Do I look like a mother effing role model?" One of my favorite parts of the song, it was just like a gossiping woman. It's like it sounds like an older woman just
Hmm.
talking about Ice Cube or something. And she's like, "He'll tell you exactly how he feeling. Don't hold a fucking thing back." He'll fuck up you and yours and anything that gets in his way. He'll just call you a low life motherfucker and talk about your funky ways. It's just like some lady just commenting on the music throughout the album. I thought that was really funny, and I liked the end when Easy E is saying, "I creeped away real slow and jumped into the six-fold with the diamond in the back sunroof top." I thought that was pretty good. What did you think about the song?
I thought I was a little. I mean, well, I knew this years ago, but it just kind of sucks that it didn't have a music video. I think it would have been a pretty good music video if they did one for it. But um, I like how the song is pieced out. You think it's like an Ice Cube solo song, but it's not because the fourth verse starts and then Easy E comes out. And it was a nice duel between him and Easy E on this song. I think MC Ren dropped a few things too, and Dr. Dre as well. But so I just liked how it was pieced together. They were, very unique in how they did their songs. Lyric wise, definitely Ice Cube definitely steals the show. I like verse two. When me and my posse stepped in the house, all the punk ass niggas started breaking out. Cause they know what's up. So we started looking for the bitches with the big old butts like her. But she keep crying, I got a boyfriend, bitch, stop lying. So I thought that was pretty funny. And then later in that verse, N.W.A is it's like this because of that who ride. N.W.A is wanted for a homicide. And then I like the chorus, gangsta, gangsta. That's what they're yelling. It's not about a salary. It's all about reality. I like that KRS-One sample they used. Um, and then I like how Ice Cube introduced Easy. Here's a little gangster, short in size. A T-shirt and Levi's is his only disguise. Built like a tank, yet hard to hit. Ice Cube and Easy E running shit. I thought that was pretty smooth. And then I like the beat right there too, where they use that sample. What was it? The Funky Worm, which would later be used on a lot of G-Funk songs throughout the '90s. We probably should do an episode on what song did the Funky Worm the best, but yeah, I like that. I like that part too. uh,
That would be cool. I felt like Ice Cube he shined on this song, but really he shined throughout the album, and
mm,
especially since we recently did Death Certificate, I just can't help but think about like Ice the no Vaseline situation,
yeah,
and I'm like, wow, Ice Cube is really outshining everybody on this album. And it's not surprising that he went on to be so successful as a solo artist.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah, he does. Yeah, he. I mean, you could make an argument for Ren as well because I know Ren had a couple of solos, but Cube, I think he Cube had a lot of hard hits on here, so I'm not anything he touched wasn't you weren't going to be disappointed. All right, second single we'll talk about. Express yourself. All right. So this is a Dr. Dre solo for the most part. Um, I like how I just like kind of the message of the song where, um, you know, at the time, I'm not sure if this is true now. In the first verse where Dr. Dre's talking about, I still express, yo, I don't smoke weed or cess, cause it's known to give a brother brain damage, and brain damage on the mic don't manage nothing, but making a sucker and you equal. Don't be another sequel. Express yourself. You know, yeah, just like the message behind the song where it's like, they talk about they from the hood, but at the same time, it's like express yourself, but don't do this or don't do that or whatever. Say no to drugs and take a stand. But after the show, they go looking for the dope man. So that was another. It was a nice radio friendly song, but I mean, you listen to the song again and again. It's just like, okay, I see the message behind it.
Yeah, I think it shows a different side of them because probably back then and even now when I think of them, I think F the Police and Straight Outta
No one
Compton. And
says
I
this.
don't
No one thinks of the
yeah.
song.
Yeah, and I had never heard this, but I like how he's just promoting expressing yourself.
Mm,
But he talks about how he feels persecuted for his self-expression. I'm expressing with my full capabilities, and now I'm living in correctional facilities. And at the end of the video, he gets the
that's
chair for
yeah.
expressing himself too much. So he talks about the persecution, but he also talks about people who are not expressing themselves, particularly in music, and he suggests that's why they're not successful. Like you're not really giving it up in the way you should be, so you're not
Mm-mm.
successful. He says if you want to start to move up the chart, then expression is a big part. And he says those some musicians cuss at home but scared to use profanity went
Went
up
up
on
on
the
the
microphone.
microphone. Yes, that's it.
And then he says, like you said, he has the line about self expression being hindered by drugs. And of his own self expression, he says, some drop science while I'm dropping English. And he ends, I thought this was funny. He ends with a threat to the listener of
Mm.
what he would do if they don't start expressing themselves. He said, because if I strike, it ain't good for your health, but I won't strike you if you just
It's precious.
express.
I like the I like that the sample to the Charles Wright in the E Street
Yeah.
band or the Watts band. Yeah, I forget the name. Yeah. Yeah. The Charles Wright. Um
Yeah, they definitely integrated seamlessly into the bars, which
yeah.
I love when that happens. So really good sample.
Yeah, very good. And then thoughts on the music video. I know it was the remix, but I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, it had a lot going on. They start off in the slave days, and some boy, he barely even expresses himself. He just throws his hat off because it seems like he's just tired, and he started getting whipped. And then Ice Cube busts through, or I'm sorry,
Dr.
Dr.
Dre.
Dre bursts through, and the boy is all of a sudden in jail, and the overseer turns into a cop, and Dr. Dre is live from the White House, and
Mm,
you have all kind of people expressing themselves in the video. The
yeah.
slaves are all dancing. The bodybuilders are dancing. Some
Yeah.
emo girl, a businessman in jail, and a b-boy. And
Yeah, the
yeah,
video was all over the place. I mean, between the other one we'll discuss, I think it was the better of the two music videos, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I think that was, obviously the next one we'll talk about was their first music video. So, just, yeah, I think they got better when it came to music videos. But yeah, I do. It was pretty cool how it was all over the place. I think the part where he was riding the car, then you hear the shots and then they start ducking and then car keeps going and kind of like reminiscent of JFK's assassination, sort of like
oh yeah, even the girl he has next to him,
yeah,
she's dressed up like a first lady, and she
yeah,
has the hairstyle
mm,
just like her. And then they got the old school car,
yeah,
like the one JFK was in. So yeah.
yeah. I thought it was a nice, cool video. But between the original version and the remix, which one did you like better?
I guess I prefer the remix only because I heard other people on it besides Dr. Dre.
Oh yeah, I guess MC Ren and Ice Cube do drop some vocals on the second and third verses, but yeah, I think I like the remix a little better myself because Um, um, I think the beat was better, if I'm just being honest.
I,
I mean,
I have to go back and listen to it. I honestly didn't even realize it was a different beat.
yeah, yeah. I think the beats are just a little better, but yeah, you can find it on whatever streaming service you guys are using. So enough with express yourself. Let's get into what this album's named after, Straight Outta Compton. So Straight Outta Compton, I think you talked about how Ice Cube just steals the show. I think he definitely steals the show on this one too, where it's just like you're just like afraid of Compton after he speaks. Like maybe not just afraid of Compton, probably afraid of him. Just he just sounds just so angry. Straight Outta Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube from the gang called Niggas with Attitudes. When I'm called off, I got a sawed off. Squeeze the trigger and bodies are hauled off. You too, boy. If you fuck with me, the police are gonna have to come and get me. So I mean, it's just it just keeps going to. Here's a murder rap that to keep you dancing with a crime record like Charles Manson.
Charles Manson.
Yeah, just oh my god, just yeah, he kills it on the song. Just that verse. I mean, yeah, I think of between him, Easy, and Ren, I think he definitely does have the best verse, at least in my opinion. Um,
For
so
sure.
yeah, well, what'd you
Ice.
think out of the best verse?
Oh yes, Ice Cube for sure. Even the way he just starts it off. I think he calls himself a crazy motherfucker like so many times throughout the album,
Hmm.
and you're bound to believe him at some point. And he says, "So when I'm in your neighborhood, you better duck because Ice Cube is crazy as fuck." Uh, so it's really good. The music is undeniably good, but I can't lie, it was kind of disturbing too, especially when I think I think it's Easy E who says, if you at a show in the front row, I'm gonna call you a bitch or a dirty asshole.
Oh, that was
You'll probably
Ren.
get
Uh,
mad like a bitch is supposed to.
that was MC Ren. That
Uh
was on the second verse, but yeah.
oh, okay. Yeah, and yeah, it's a I mean, I think it's the best song on the album, but
Mm.
it's also quite alarming.
Yeah, it's definitely definitely in the contending for best song on the album. Uh, what were your thoughts on the music video? Do you think it should have been banned off MTV after watching it, or
They were. I mean, they were just walking down the. They it didn't seem like they were doing too much. I didn't really see any guns or anything like that. But I guess it was more for the subject matter, which I mean, I get it in a way. Most of the people making those decisions at those times were probably moms and dads, and they're just like, oh
no?
my goodness, we've never heard this kind of stuff before on the radio or looking at it on TV. Ultimately it is a free speech kind of thing, but I do understand why it made them scared, because I mean they're
Yeah,
kind of trying to be scary.
yeah. I think for me, maybe more the content of the song, but I mean, I think just walking around your neighborhood, having cops chase guy. I mean, in a music video. I mean, you see that all the time on TV during that time. So it was like I didn't think anything. I
Yeah,
mean, I didn't see like any. At least I didn't recall seeing any drug uses or anything. It wasn't like a very like. It wasn't like a big high budget video. It was just them walking around their neighborhood. Just.
yeah, and
Uh,
ultimately they're all taken to jail, like they're all in the paddy wagon at the end. Yeah, the video itself is not too much going on.
yeah, they're
It's those
really
words.
just yeah, just. I mean, like I said, if I'm comparing it to the Express Yourself and that one, I think Express Yourself was a much better video, if you ask me. But I mean, it
Yeah.
not too much was going on there. Like okay, like I don't think it should have been banned off MTV. In other words, I think MTV should have more had their back. But the times, it is what it is. But definitely great song, great. Def, just if you do listen to Straight Outta Compton, definitely listen to that song. You won't be disappointed. All right, our favorite part of the show. What are your three favorites? I'm very curious to hear yours. I know you're probably you never fail to surprise me, except for the Sugar
Yeah.
Hill episode, but that was only 6 songs, so that kind of doesn't count. But
I really I wanted to be able to choose like the most uplifting song as my favorite, but I couldn't.
you couldn't.
My favorite songs were probably the most kind of horrific songs. Also, it's like
Yeah.
Straight Outta Compton,
Mm.
Fuck the Police, and 8 Ball.
8 Ball. Okay. Okay. 8 Ball. It was mine weren't uplifting either. We agreed on one, Straight Outta Compton. But I had two different ones. Parental discretion is advised. That was my favorite. And then another one, you may be a little surprised by this one. I ain't the one.
Oh, okay.
You talked about Ice Cube still on the show. Yeah, I think he really stole the show with that solo there. And then honorable mentions for me, obviously, Fuck the Police, Gangsta Gangsta, 8 Ball, and Express Yourself in Dope, man. So those would be my honorable mentions. So
I would use express yourself as my honorable mention.
okay, all right, sounds good. Okay, so where shall we start? I guess we could save the most controversial one for last. 8 Ball. Okay, 8 Ball. I'm actually a little surprised because it was an easy solo. So what did you like about 8 Ball?
Yeah, I like how he takes us on this journey. You know, he's done an 8 ball, and he's just talking about his experience with it. He's about to pass the cops, and he says, "I hook a right turn and let the boys pass. Then I say to myself, they
They
could
could
kiss
kiss
my
my
ass."
ass.
I thought that was funny, and he's like, "Hip to get drunk, got my 8 on the lips, put in the old tape, Marvin Gaye's greatest hits," and he says, stepped in the party, I was drunk as hell. 3 bitches already said, Eric, your breath smells. And he says, called her a bitch because that's the rule. Boys in the hood trying
Trying
to
to keep
keep
me
me cool.
cool.
And my favorite part was he says, it felt like a breaking of the wall, a
Hmm.
breaking the fourth wall in rap when he says, Ice Cube writes the rhymes that I say. Hail to the niggas from CIA. I thought that was cool because it's like, you know, Ice Cube is like, even though I'm writing for him, I'm going to shout out my boys while I'm writing for
I think Ice
Easy
Cube. I
E.
think Ice Cube even was like surprised that he even said like you don't gotta know. Like I think he said that like in some kind of interview some years later. But yeah.
That surprises me too, because most people do try to keep it like a big secret,
Well,
but
I mean,
this is better.
unless you read like the credits on like the people who write the songs, and in
Yeah.
those days, it's like, well, even today, like with their stage names, it's like the internet wasn't around yet like that, so it's like, all right, so who wrote the song? Oh, Old Jackson. Like he wouldn't know that Old Jackson is Ice Cube, at least.
Yeah.
So it's like just because they use their first initial and last name, so it's like
Yeah.
so.
Easy E had no shame about this. He just like Ice Cube's writes the rhymes that I say. I've never heard such a bold admission
Hmm.
right on the record.
Yeah, Easy E fucked up, got the 8 Ball rolling. I was cool kicking that, just yeah, that definitely a good song. Just especially if something to get drunk to, or I mean, I don't encourage drinking or driving, but I think I do like how he's just telling a story, going through Compton, or now he's in LA riding on Slauson looking for Crenshaw. Turned down the sound to ditch the law. Stopped at the light and I had a fit because a Mexican almost wrecked my shit. Flipped his ass off, put it to the floor. Bottle was empty, so I went to the store. Yeah, I really like that second verse there. And then
So
and then toward the end too. Pass the brew, motherfucker, or I'll tear shit up. And while I listen up close to roll call, and then that's how he just shouts out everyone out. Pretty much the whole Compton posse, everybody.
yeah, it's like even on the song Ice Cube is not even on.
Mm,
He's shining on this album.
yeah,
Uh,
definitely one of my. I would have to say, even though it wasn't my favorite one from this album, like if I were to do like a top 10 of like Easy E songs, I do consider it an Easy E solo. I definitely, I'd put that song on there. It was a nice song from
yes.
Easy. So R.I.P. Easy E. So next song we'll talk about. I guess we can go with parental discretion is advised. I love. I think what did this song for me was the DLC appearance. He's like ALJ. What's going on, man? What's going on? What y'all gonna do for this last record? Nah, tell me what y'all gonna do. Okay, you want me to do the intro, and then I just DLC just like I said, if it's any six member of N.W.A, it was had that man there because I just like how he takes it off, and then just Dr. Dre comes in, MC Ren comes in, Ice Cube comes in, Eazy comes in. It just seems like this is the only song where everyone had a verse. That's what really attracted me to this one in terms of when it comes to songs. It's just more a group effort song, except for Yella, but that's okay. But I do like how everyone pretty much had a piece of the pie when it came to this song, and just talking about parental discretion, is advised. What were your thoughts on this song?
I liked when Ren said, "Some shit I don't take, not even in a toilet." I liked when Ice Cube says, like, even if you read his bars in Braille, it'll still be funky. And when Easy E said, "So slip the C note and you can choke on a wing ding 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 ling down your throat," I thought that was funny. And parental discretion was definitely advised.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah, that definitely was advice for that song. So had some funny moments. So let me go back over here real quick. See, uh, let's see. I like Ice Cube's first words. I be what is known as a bandit. You gotta hand it to me. You truly understand it. Cause if you fail to see, read it in braille, it still be funky. So what's next is the flex. I like how he started kicking that off, and then stagger 'em all when I start flowing like Niagara Falls. Ice Cube's equipped to rip the shit in a battle. Move like a snake when I'm mad, and then my tail rattle. I get low on the flow. Your kids know when I bust. Parental discretion is a must. So I think I thought that was pretty cool how he ended that verse there. So and then I ain't the one. I think this is the one that kind of just nice beat, and with Ice Cube that's a solo song. So I like how the girl, pretty much the girl thinks that she can milk Ice Cube like cereal, but he pretty much gets holds out enough to get some, and kicks her to the curb. So I think that's it was a pretty funny song. Some of my favorite moments from this song. Uh, let's see. So I walk over and say, "How you doing?" See, I'm only down for screwing, but you gotta play it off cool, because if they catch you slipping, you'll get schooled, and they'll get you for your money, son. Next thing you know, you're getting their hair in their nose done, fool, and they'll let you show them off. But when it comes to sex, they got a bad cough or headache. It's all give and no take. Run out of money and watch your heart break. um, I like the second verse too. How to sometimes I used to wonder how the hell an ugly dude get a fine girl's number. He's getting juice for his ducats. I told a girl in a minute, yo, I drive a bucket and won't think nothing of it. She can ride or walk, either leave it or love it. I show her that I'm not the any say I'm a ruthless N.I double GA. Let's see, another funny song part. I A brother like me is only out for one thing, I think, with my dingaling, but I won't bring no flowers to your doorstep when we go out, 'cause you'll take it for granted, no doubt. After the date, I'm a want to do the wild thing. You want lobster, huh? I'm thinking Burger King. and then you, and then when I take you, you get frustrated. You can't juice Ice Cube and you hate it. And then the last verse there, and even some more funnier lines. Let's see. Let's see. Keep your money to yourself, homie. And if you got enough game, you'll get her name and her number without going under. You can't leave them and love them and stay above them. I used to get played. Now she stay behind me. 'Cause I said I had a Benz 190, but I lied and played the one just to get some. Now she feels dumb. So, I mean, I think it's just a lesson to what I keep trying to say is like, don't let women use you, fellas. Is pretty much what he's trying to say there. Like, if you got game, you should be able to get her number if you try hard enough. But don't sell out or anything like that. Would have made a funny music video too if there was one. And even though it wasn't an official single, it did play around LA radio stations because I have heard it on the radio. And I think one of the reasons why is it didn't have very much profanity, if any at all. So I think it just spelled out nigga at one part, but that's it really. So, any thoughts on this song? I know it took a long time there.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I liked in verse one when he says, "See, they think we're narrow minded because they got a cute face and big behind it." I thought it was pretty funny, but yeah, I think he's just trying to say, just be yourself. Don't try to impress people with money, but he's saying it in a different way.
All right, and now we make our way to the most controversial song on the album, which is not Straight Outta Compton, but "Fuck the Police." I like how the song's pieced out. Just Dr. Dre's a judge, and then they had Ice Cube, MC Ren, and Easy, you know, taking a stand and telling their stories about what happened. With police officers, law enforcement, fiction, fact, fiction. I mean, it's some of it's probably true, some of it's probably some of it's probably just stories that they've heard, putting it into their own. But I mean, I feel like with any of these lyrics on a song like this, they weren't lying, I guess you could kind of say. But I mean, definitely like when I first heard this song, it's just like, wow, just a group standing up to law enforcement like that, especially, with people, of color particularly being mistreated by police and, just I mean, you still kind of see it to this day too. There's still, bad cops out there, but not but I don't think this song is um mentioned or supposed to be for the good cops that are out there. And I do want to acknowledge that in law enforcement there are good people, good cops out there that do their job and care about the public. What were your thoughts on? Well, this was one of your favorites, so I'm intrigued to know why. I think we're going to discuss it anyway, even if it wasn't, because I think we would be doing a disservice if we didn't.
Yeah, I mean, just sonically to me, it's just one of the best songs. Especially Ice Cube when he starts at "fuck the police coming straight from the underground." A young nigga got it bad because I'm brown. Um, I think that like this album, in the context of this album, and they're kind of talking about all this horrible things they're willing to do. Taking out a police will make my day. They just they're shooting random people. You better get ready because I'm gonna fuck you up. I don't know. To me, it's like you can't say all of these terrible things you're ready to do to people and then be like, a young nigga got it bad because I'm brown. Even though that's like, it's really a good line, actually.
Hmm.
Like, it's very catchy. But it's like, is it really because you're brown or is it because you want to be a gangster? Like, this whole album is about being a gangster. And then you're like, why is the police attacking me so bad? Like, well, maybe you shouldn't be doing all this kind of stuff. There's definitely a contingent of police, especially at this in this era in the '80s, prior to any social media. Prior to even the Rodney King thing, when people really just getting fucked up by the police for no
Yeah,
reason.
there was, and I
But
think a lot of people, especially like in middle class America, just they had no idea until the Rodney King beating, and even most recently with George Floyd, a cop killing a dude on that the thing that
yeah,
went viral. Like, yeah,
and
I feel like these guys got to be held accountable for their bad actions. Just that's the way I
they
feel.
should be held accountable. I just think the person who is like announcing it should have clean hands. Like, you shouldn't
Mm,
be like a professed person who wants to kill
mm,
cops and wants to just, or cause a ruckus in your neighborhood. I don't think it could be that person. You have to be
Yeah.
the person who has, clean hands, no blood on your hands. That's why I think it sounded kind of crazy coming from them, even though it really was. It's like
Mm.
it's a great song.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
it's a great
It
song,
is
but
a
it's
good. It is a
also
great song.
uh contradictory too.
Yeah. I
So
mean, I can see why some people don't like it. They can take offense to it. I think some people were like, okay, like especially today, it's like, okay, I see where they're coming from. Like just they weren't always. I mean, especially like in South Central LA, Compton in the mid to late '80s, where you had that. I think we've talked about it before. The war on drugs bullshit that was going on. That Batarang army truck that the LAPD had going into innocent people's homes, like, and just sorry, like not doing anything about it. So it's like that was pretty bad. Like
yeah,
that was pretty
yeah.
bad, and just
I liked like how how they set it up as if each person who was speaking and doing their verse was
mm,
giving their testimony. MC Ren, will you please give your testimony to the jury about this fucked up incident?
mhm.
Easy E, won't you step up to the stand and tell the jury how you feel about this bullshit? I thought that was a really clever way
Yeah,
to set it up.
yeah. Just especially like with MC Ren, with this part, like him saying. Fuck this shit. And like, all right, smart ass, I'm taking your black ass to jail. And they would do that type of shit too. Just take your ass to jail for like no reason. Just yeah, like the police. I mean, like I said, they're good cops out there, but then I feel there were just the cops out there that were just trying to give young black men a hard time. Especially in
And
urban
I
areas
think
like that.
most of them are. I think most cops are might be somewhere in between where they're not exactly. They don't have the clean hands and they don't necessarily have the killing hands, but maybe they're the ones just going along with some bullshit that
Mm,
they saw, and that as a cop, you have to be way better than that. And
yeah.
most people in general are not, and most cops are not better than that.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely. All right. So that goes for our, favorites. Any song on here you could have did without or didn't think fit the album, or
Compton's in the house. I didn't care for it.
it's a okay song. I didn't, that one and something to dance to. I think it's okay, but I just think it didn't fit the album. All right, well, um, moving on. So there were some album cuts and expansions. So in 2002, they put out a reissue, um, where they put an extended version of Straight Outta Compton, Express Yourself remix, an instrumental of that, and another Ice Cube solo that was on N.W.A and the Posse, A Bitch Is a Bitch. I believe it does show up on Spotify as like a Express Yourself single. So if you want to check those four tracks out, feel free. 2007, they did a 20th year anniversary edition where they had songs from um or what did, well, let me pull it up real quick, but they had songs um from the tribute album that I'm about to talk about in a second. So yeah, they did. Yeah. So actually, let me just do the tribute album instead. So in 1998, there was a tribute album, and that's pretty crazy because you don't really see that in hip hop all that much. But the N.W.A tribute anniversary album for Straight Outta Compton, where pretty much artists came back and redid 12 of the 13 songs. They did all the songs except for Something to Dance to. Artists on there included MC8, King T, Gangsta Dre Stubb, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Snoop Dogg, C Murder, WC or Dub C, The Comrades, All from the Eye, Boo Capone, Jail Felony, Ant Banks, J Dub, Silk the Shocker, Mr. Mike, Mac 10, Big Pun, Fat Joe, and Cuban Link. So they came back and, just it's not on streaming services. If you're interested in listening to that, definitely try to find it. And then in terms of the tracks that came back for the 20th year anniversary issue in 2007, Fuck the Police tribute remix, which was done by Bone Thugs and Harmony, made it. Gangsta Gangsta, which was Snoop Dogg and C Murder. Dope Man, which was Mac 10. It Ain't Rough Enough, which was Dub C, and then a live version of Compton's in the House. I know you didn't really care much for that, but Dr. Dre and MC Ren did a good job on that. I thought that was so yeah, so definitely check those out if you want to hear more expansions and cuts from this album. Recommendations. So two of these albums we've already done. Easy Ease, Easy Does It. We did that back, what was that, episode number 7. And then most recently we did the DLC's No One Can Do It Better, which was, what episode was that? I told myself I'd start writing down these episodes that we did these.
I'll find it. I'm not sure of the
All
title.
right, and then the last one I'm going to highlight is Ice T's Power, which also came out in 1988. So um, I believe and then the DLC we did that episode 56, 56. So yeah, check back episode 7 and episode 56 if you want to hear our reviews on Easy 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 Does It or the DLCs. No One Can Do It Better. And we've almost got an hour here. Then lot to talk about with this album. All right. So closing thoughts. Any final thoughts on this album? Taking any tracks back to your playlist? Um,
I'll take back 8 Ball and Express Yourself. I thought um Express Yourself definitely showed a different side of the group. 8 Ball I just enjoy because it's, I mean, I've never been off of 8 Ball. It'll take you on this journey through this 8 ball, without actually having to do it. So that was pretty cool. The group as a whole, I think they're, for better or for worse, they're a legendary group, and all the things that sprung off of them. I don't know if sprung off is the right word. All of their offspring, like
hmm.
Ice Cube's musical
Branches.
career,
I think that's what you're looking. Branch. Yeah.
yeah, branched
Yeah.
off. All of the things that branched off the group were incredible. Ice Cube's acting career, Ice Cube's music career, Dr. Dre's career in beats, his making of the beats. Um,
and all,
Even Easy E, he's legendary in his own right.
they have a
I think,
big they have a big family tree. I will say that.
yeah, and even the music, F the police is, it's become kind of a war cry
hmm.
against police brutality. So I mean, it's a uh, it's a pretty legendary album. I like it. I think more people should listen to it in its totality to get, a more real well rounded idea of the group. Pretty good.
All right. For me, I've listened to this album many times. I mean, I mean, I guess I could take parental discretion as advice back. Just for rotation purposes. I Ain't the One. That's always a good one too. Just my two favorites, and then, but everything else I've heard enough in terms of like I don't want to bump it like that. But anyway, I definitely, if you're a hip hop fan, definitely take a listen to this album. I think you won't be disappointed, even if you don't like the gangster rap or West Coast sub genres of hip hop. But just give it a listen, give it a try. And if you did listen, or if you have noticed very well, list us your favorite tracks and what you liked and didn't like, and anything we may have missed. For Netta, I'm Justin. Too Tall for Youthful. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you on the next one. Later.